Simple question for you all, panelists. Which Montreal Canadiens player has been the biggest disappointment for this team this season?
I'm going to have to go with Jonathan Drouin. Really, I was hoping to see more from this player, and it always seems like he's able to kind of get things going, get some momentum, play well for a stretch of time, and then you're like, okay, he's figured out his game. And then come the next season, he's not really able to pick up where he's left off. He hasn't been able to score many goals this year. After Monday's game against Edmonton, he only had 2 goals on the season. Yes, he does have 21 assists, but still he needs to score goals, especially when you're a team that's struggling to score goals. He's one of the players that you're looking at to help bring some offense. And unfortunately, he hasn't been able to get the job done. And it just kind of seems like he's back to Jonathan Drouin, who's out there for a skate, not necessarily out there to play a hockey game.
Rather than piling on Jonathan Drouin, I'll throw out another name, Carey Price. This team goes as Carey Price goes, and he's so inconsistent. You just never know what you're going to get. You know, that game against Ottawa, he lets in 3 goals on 14 shots. Carey Price is the guy that Marc Bergevin hitched his cart to for this team, and they'll go as far as he can carry them. And, you know, we got to look at Carey Price in the postseason last year. He was outstanding. He didn't get enough support from his teammates, but that was Carey Price after a 3-month rest, totally rested. Coming into this season, you know, it's not only this season, it's the past 2 or 3 seasons. He's so inconsistent. Are you going to get the good Carey Price or the bad Carey Price? You don't know from game to game. And when that's your highest paid player and the guy that the GM is counting on the most to carry this team, you know, that's not good. You know, he fired the goalie coach to try and get Price going. You know, Carey Price is the guy for the Canadiens. And when the guy isn't playing well, it's hard for the team to win.
You know, and I'm not beating on Drouin, but again, his name comes into the mix as a guy that really has disappointed, I think, a lot of people in his inconsistent play and, you know, his ability to play when he wants to, but it's not happening. And it's also, I'll throw another couple names, as much as I hate to mention a defenseman as being a guy that's not able to perform up to par with Weber struggling. It's sad to see that you know, he's not able to get his best game out there, hoping that will turn around. But I'm going to throw Armia into that mix too, as a guy that you know, everybody was like going, "Wow, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Is he going to have a shift, or is he going to take another shift off?" So you know, there's other guys that you can probably throw in there. Also, there are obviously too many guys at this point of the year that are not doing it, that are, you know, would consider a disappointment, but they can still redeem themselves, and hopefully they will, so that they can get their act together down the stretch.
Well, as Jess said, Drouin is definitely a disappointment, but is anybody really shocked at the way Jonathan Drouin has played this year?
We said it last week. Drouin is who he is.
He is who he is. He's 26 years old. He's been here, and this is Jonathan Drouin. He'll look good for a while, then he'll disappear for a while. So yeah, he's been a huge disappointment, but not a surprising disappointment. But with Weber and Price, as you know, as Rick said, you know, when your 2 key guys aren't playing well, it's tough.
Bit of an interesting kind of dichotomy here. Weber and Price are older in their careers. Their bodies are not nearly the same. So while you still maintain those high expectations for those players, it's a little harder to do that. At the same time, with Jonathan Drouin, a much younger player, a guy who looked pretty good in the bubble, we're all expecting him to play, you know, at another elevated standard. And at different points in the season, it looked as if he was, but you just can't defend and I understand that it may change depending on when you're watching this. For much of the year, he's scored 2 goals. Yes, he could say, look at the column on the right and all the assists that he's able to look at the assists he's been able to put up this season, which has been really good for him. He's shown he's a playmaker, and I understand he shouldn't be seen as the goal scorer for this team, but 2 goals. Eric Staal in a much shorter time has put up the same number of goals as Jonathan Drouin has throughout the entire season. And unfortunately, I know I've defended him a lot on the show. I got to side with Jess here. Jonathan Drouin will likely go down as the biggest disappointment, considering the fact that he had such a promising start with some of the things that he was able to do on the ice, even when he wasn't scoring. And now it looks as if he's just gone back to being frustrated and floating around on the ice. So a lot of disappointments on this Montreal Canadiens team as of late. I'm not sure if anyone wanted to add anything else to that.
The thing moving forward also, Price, Weber, and Drouin, these are three guys who aren't going anywhere. Those contracts, you're not moving them. So these three guys, not only this season, but moving forward for the duration of their contracts, they got to play better.
Yep.
And, for me, the bottom line is if you don't want to face criticism, then bring your game and you don't have to deal with the critics. And, that's got to come from within. And that in itself, to me, should be motivation. Hey, listen, I don't want to listen to somebody tell somebody else and then, and have to hear and read about it all across the network. So just, you know what the problem areas are. Grab a hold of them, try and make the corrections so that you don't have to hear the criticism continually going your way. And that, to me, it should be the biggest motivation. And on the other side too, if that is not motivation to get you to do a better job, then you got some real big problems with the character of the individual.
And fans and even players who say, "Oh, you guys in the media are so negative." Go back and watch this show at the beginning of the season when this team was on a roll. Go back and read the columns that were at the beginning of the season. When they play well, people in the media praise them for playing well. When they play bad, they're criticized for playing bad. That's our job. That's my job. As I say, it's like a movie reviewer. If a movie reviewer goes to a movie and the movie sucks, he's going to write that the movie sucked. The same thing when people, as in the media covering sports, when the players play well, they're praised. And when they play poorly, they're criticized. And there's been a lot, at the beginning of the season was a lot to praise the Canadiens about, and now there's an awful lot to criticize them about.
Yeah, seriously. Even Brendan Kelly was praising the Canadiens. Okay, I've mentioned Brendan Kelly. I'm going to stop there because last time I did that, I don't want to get myself in trouble. Also, I mentioned to the right, the comment I made about Jonathan Drouin. I realized to you guys it looks like I'm pointing left. My bad. To the right. Anyway, let us know in the comments section who you think has been the most disappointing Montreal Canadien this season, and visit hockeyinsideout.com to check out our full episode.